Hi there, in this video I want to talk about why I took a permanent career break. But before I do that, I just want to say to you, if you come to Phuket, then you really should look out for this area. Behind me I've got Nai Harm Beach, and you'll see, if you look to the sea, on the right there's a hotel where you can actually go through the hotel, and you've got a really nice area here that not so many people go to. This place here with these rocks, you've got a guy fishing, you've got some people going out to their yachts, and over here you've got some people behind me now who are taking wedding photographs because it's such a beautiful area. And if you carry on up this road here, you've got a nice restaurant which is up on the rocks with a beautiful view. Then go further, you've got a beach, I forget the name now, there's a little restaurant there, and that's good for snorkeling. But then you can even walk further, and there's another beach there, really crystal clear water. I went there about a week ago and it's beautiful. I didn't have snorkel gear, but if I had, then I would have done that, because you can actually, you had the fish around you, tropical fish actually swimming around you, and you could see them even without a snorkel. So I really recommend this. It's in Phuket in the south part. This is Nai Harm Beach, and then you go kind of through a hotel which is on the right, and then up this road. Anyway, so I want to talk about what led to my career break. It wasn't a sudden thing, and I really think if you want a career break where you travel, or if you want to actually give up your career and travel and work, then really take a long time to think about it and the consequences. Because for me, it was actually probably 5 years to make the decision. I think from the time I was about 21 or 22, and I left when I was 27. And also really make sure you're leaving for a positive reason rather than a negative reason. I think if you leave for a negative reason, then because your emotions get amplified so much, if you say, oh, I'm fed up with my job, I'm going to leave, and you go, then if things go bad, it really will amplify it and it will really feel a lot worse. So kind of think of why you want to go and really try and make it a positive thing to do. So I think during those 5 years, I had competing feelings. Do I stick with my career? These are the reasons why I should, the money, the security, and these are the reasons why I want to leave. But there were actually some significant things that happened during that time. And the first one, I've talked about this in another video, was I went on a development course, and on the last day I decided I wanted to spend 2 hours in a cellar and just think about my life. And that was the real turning point of actually realizing I can do what I want with my life. So that was the first thing, and the first feeling of, oh, okay, what do I want to do? And then I started thinking about it. Now, probably the second thing was I went to Spain, and there was just one time, there was a guy in a motorhome, and he was living on the seafront. He had a motorbike on the back, and I was there with a friend, and we just went, wow. We started talking to him and we said, wow, is this your life? What do you do? What job do you have? And he was just working in a bar. He'd work in one area and then he'd pack his motorbike up, go and work somewhere else. And we just thought, wow, what a fantastic life. And that was another thing. It just inched me towards this kind of life. So probably the next thing was reading a book by Ted Simon called Jupiter's Travels. And it really did get this travel bug in me. He traveled around the world on a motorbike. He actually spent a few months in jail in South America, and it wasn't that easy for him, but it still was a fantastic adventure. I think this is actually in the 70s or something that he did it, and he was sponsored by the Sunday Times. But it just seems such an adventure that, I don't know, it's one of these ones that it changes your feeling on life, and you just think, oh, I'd love to do that. So I followed it up. I read some other books. There was one, I remember, some people did the same thing, but in a car. They traveled around the world, and I thought about doing that as well. So all these things gradually in my early 20s kept coming back to me, and I kept thinking about them. So eventually, I think it was 1988, I decided I wanted to go to Australia, and a friend wanted to do that as well. So we were both very busy, and we just really didn't make any plan. We just went and booked a ticket. We said, okay, right, we'll sort it out once we got there. And stopped off in Singapore for a couple of days, I think it was, had a look around there. But Singapore really was quite built up. It was pretty much like the West. So not adventurous. I didn't really feel it was adventurous. Kind of going shopping was the most adventurous thing there. So we went on to Australia. Didn't really go that well. We didn't realize it was the rainy season. And the place we went to, we went up the east coast we actually drove from Sydney up to Airlie Beach, which is on the way to Cairns. We didn't realize it was so far. We didn't know the weather was going to be so bad. And there were some good times there, but it really wasn't what we thought. And the thing that did have a big effect was coming back, we stopped off at Singapore again, and we decided, really lucky, because we were talking and we went out for a drink with a guy who was working there, and he said, oh, you should go off to Malaysia, that's adventure, this is just normal. So we hired a car and we drove into Malaysia and up the coast to a place where they have a ferry going across to one of the islands. And it just seemed like this was something out of a movie. It was just a rickety old ferry and a rickety old pier. We didn't go across to the island. We just had one day, but we hung around the area, and I suppose there were backpackers there. It was just kind of a different feeling to it all. It was just some sort of adventure. People there were going off to this island, and that made me realize, wow, Asia's exciting, and it's a place I want to go. So that got Asia into me, and then I thought, okay, I want to do that, but it was still too much to quit my job after 11 years and to do all this. It was still just a big risk, and I wanted to make sure it was going to work. So I took a trip to Spain for a week, and I've explained this in one of my blogs that didn't go well. I got mugged and it was a disaster. So I decided, okay, I need to meet some people, and luckily I found some other people who were leaving, and I said to them, okay, I need to sell my house, apartment, need to quit my job, and I just got to make sure I'm doing the right thing. And if I can plan all that and do it, they were leaving on 31st of January, and this was maybe November or maybe October. So I said, okay, if everything goes to plan, I'll leave with you. And the idea there, we were just going to stay together 2 weeks and then split up. So it kind of all came together. I sold the flat and I told them, look, I need to do this quickly. I'll give you a discount. And if you can do that. And the solicitor said, okay, you've got to help me make it all work quickly. And I think it took about between 4 and 6 weeks to sell it and have the money in the bank. I got the money in the bank, quit the job the next day, and that was it. I was leaving. So it wasn't anything quick, and it was all planned, but in the end you do have to take a risk, and you don't know what's going to happen. It isn't sure what's going to happen in the future. A lot of things have gone well and a lot of things have gone badly since I've traveled. I've run out of money 2 times. One was because I just kept traveling and used all my money up, and the other one, I started a business and it was going really well, but then we ran out of money to carry on the business. So it's not safe, but then that's the adventure of it. So anyway, what happened with me, I traveled for 6 months, real out and out traveling. I studied for 6 months in the Philippines studying computing, and that was it. I actually met someone there and decided to stay out in Asia because of that, but also because I just found it exciting out here, and going back to England just kind of felt boring then. So I hope that can kind of give you an idea of the process that I went through when I left. I think it's not so difficult now. When I left, there weren't really people working abroad, wasn't normal. People working online wasn't heard of because there was no internet. So I think it's a lot easier now. But I would like to hear from any of you who are thinking of it, and just tell me, is it such a big thing? Is it such a big worry? Maybe because people don't hold their jobs so long nowadays. Jobs are more temporary. So I don't know if it's such a big thing, and it'd be good to know. And then also in the comments here, please ask me any questions you've got about doing this, about what led up to me leaving. And if you're not sure whether to do it, maybe I can help you there. So if you found this useful, please give this a thumbs up on YouTube, as that'll help other people to see this video. And if this whole type of thing, working and traveling and quitting your job to see another life, appeals to you, please subscribe to my channel. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.